Next presenter and subject recent progress in the swine breeding. Recent progress in the swine breeding and raising technologies. So Dr. Japna, he get a PhD in Liverpool and now he's a consultant in the agriculture technology research.
Well, thank you very much indeed for inviting me to this very important meeting. I'm going to present some of the work that we've been doing in Taiwan over the last 7 or 8 years, looking at some of the changes that we've made or we're encouraging our clients, our farmers to make in terms of improving their performance. From a breeding point of view, we are in the middle of a major revolution. I have done pig farming for over 40 years. I started when I was about 11. And the biggest change that's happened in that 40 years is the last 5 years. We have moved dramatically from weaning 9 or 10 pigs per sow to over 12 pigs per sow. This is a 20% improvement in performance, and it's really happened just in the last 10 years. And Asia needs to capture this. This has been led primarily by Northern Europeans, but the development of this technology needs to be captured by Asia and taken further forward. Otherwise, you're going to get behind in terms of the cost of production. So what I'm going to talk about fairly quickly are the main things that we've done here in Taiwan, introducing batching, breeding principles. I'm going to talk a bit about single serving, some recording systems that we're introducing, and then this 12 wean per batch farrow place concept, and then ultimately improving the quality, not just the quantity of the pig. The net result is that we've had a 20% increase in output, a 12 kilo reduction in feed usage, enhanced carcass quality, and all of this results in a better carbon footprint. And from a farmer's point of view, we've got to reduce the cost of production. So I'm going to make an example farm just as I go through. This is a fairly typical Taiwanese farm. I'm going to have an income of $75, cost of $65, feed costs about $16 per kilogram. These are obviously Taiwanese dollars. We're farming once a week. They're doing 20 sows a week, so this is about a 400 sow unit, 430 sow unit. They're weaning currently around 10, and we have some buildings. So the first thing we do on these types of farms is we impose a batching and all-in, all-out model. And continuous flow has to stop. There is no future in a continuous flow farm. We've got to adopt much more poultry principles. We've got to have animals go through the system, or not just even poultry, just normal agriculture. You do not plant rice in half the field and then plant another bunch of rice in the other half of the field and incorporate some of it in the previous pack and then try to harvest it. We've got to put our pigs through the system and harvest pigs in an all-in, all-out program. So on this particular farm, we actually had 60 farrowing places, and the buildings and nursery was continuous flow. And I only have half an hour, so I can only introduce some of the concepts. So what we did on this farm is we introduced a 3-week batch program. Just with a 3-week batch program, I could make all in, all out in these farrowing houses. I only need 2 farrowing houses. I can split basically what you had down the middle. I only need 2 nurseries, and I only need 6 finishes. And when you have finishing a nursery of varying sizes, which is fairly typical in Asia, by doing batching, I can achieve all in, all out by combining buildings. So when you do all in, all out, it's worth about 100 grams a day. And what is that worth? Well, the PCV2 vaccine is worth about 30 grams a day. And everybody thinks the PCV2 vaccine is marvelous, so this is 3 times what the PCV2 vaccine is. I try and encourage the farmers to realize the value of an empty farrowing credit. There's far too many empty places, the farms are not being managed properly, they're not being filled properly, and we've got to make sure that the farm is full. And I try to use real numbers that actually matter. And what I mean by that is making sure that if we have 60 farrowing places, we actually produce, we fill them with 60 sows. One of the things that we're found by adopting batching is actually making some simple little mistakes, which a lot of farmers do, which is actually determining what is the first day of the batch. On a majority of farms, they might start the batch on a Monday, but they actually wean, for instance, on a Thursday. And if you actually do that, you start your batches on a Monday, but weaning on a Thursday, the animals that are in the breeding batch are not the same animals that will actually be in the farrowing batch. And this might seem a really, really small point, but it makes a substantial difference in terms of how you analyze records. So if you wean on a Thursday, your batch has to start on a Friday, and if you do that, then the number of the animals that you breed will actually correspond to animals that are actually farrow. The other thing that we've found with this is if we're going to do batch farrowing, such as a 3-week batch, or even a 1-week batch, what you have to do is then all the records have to comply with that batching program. A month is a crazy system, and almost everybody monitors their farms by month. Month is a crazy system. It's not the same time span. Some months are 28, some months are 31. There's different numbers of Thursdays in every month. So therefore there's different numbers of weanings, different numbers of breeding. We've got to stop this. This is causing variation, it's making it very difficult to analyze records. If you're going to farm weekly, you have 52 batches a year. If anything, do 13 months, as in 4-week months. You've got to do 3-week batching, you've got to get the batches, you've got to get the records based on those 3 weeks. You've got to abandon this concept of months. Going back to changing the day, what we did find by changing the day was that it made a big difference to the gilt pool. Here we see a normal week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The gilts will basically be bred every single day because you have no real control over when the gilts will be bred. The sows, on the other hand, will have some control. So wean on a Thursday, and that means the sows will basically come into heat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you start the batch, in this case on a Sunday, what you see is at the end of the batch is composed primarily of gilts. So the last animals you bred in this batch were gilts. When that comes around to being weaned, it means that the youngest pigs that are being weaned are from gilts. It means that the weakest pigs that are being weaned are from gilts. That was your decision. You chose to start the batch on a Sunday. If, on the other hand, you started the batch the day after weaning, the gilts at the beginning of the batch, which means that at the point of weaning, the gilts will have the oldest pigs. They may not be the strongest pigs, but they're a lot stronger than they were the way you did it previously. By just doing this simple trick, we've knocked off 1 to 2% post-weaning mortality. Just because of the fact that we don't put small, weak piglets in at the wrong time of weaning. We've got to get our pre-weaning mortality down, and in my presentation, which is more than welcome to, we have various spreadsheets which allow me to sort of calculate the impact of reducing our post-weaning mortality. In Europe, my 5% post-weaning mortality is becoming unacceptable. Where in Asia, if I can keep it below 10%, people are still happy. It is not acceptable. We've got to stop killing these pigs. So on my target farm here, I have a 7% post-weaning mortality, and I'm trying to take that down to 5%. By just doing that alone, I saved the farm $250,000 a year. Notice my slight change in words. I talk about finishing rate. Mortality is always a sad thing. I have a 1% post-weaning mortality. That is not good. I killed pigs. If I have a 95% finishing rate, it means that that's a good thing. 95% of the pigs manage to get to the finish. It's the same 5% mortality. It's a different way of living. As a European, we're being taught we've got to change the way we talk to our clients. The housewife, the guy who buys the meat, wants to think, at least, that we are doing everything we can in order to keep these animals alive and keep these animals healthy. We've got to change the way we talk. So, we'll move on. So we've got the farm into a batching program, and now we're running the farm on an all-in-all-out program, and we're trying to reduce the post-weaning mortality. We've then tried to impose different breeding disciplines. Could I have a 5-minute warning before I get to the end? Give me a warning. I can keep talking all day. Oh, I can't see that. I'm blind. Okay, we have breeding disciplines. We've now designed programs where we have control over the breeding using boar control technology, where we have the boar in front and boars controlled. As the boar moves down the breeding row, then the guys will breed. We breed 50 sows an hour. That is basically done with 3 people. There's one person breeding 3 sows on this side. There's the boar. The boar has 2 sides, so there's 3 sows being bred on the other side. So there's 2 people breeding, 1 person controlling the boar. And by doing that program, we have now made, say, over 50 sows an hour. This is very important to try and get the mating done. Asia's farms are getting bigger and bigger, and we've got to get the mating done and have a consistent effect. What I'm now doing is we're not heat checking per se, we heat check and breed. I haven't the time to heat check 3 or 4 times a day. The farms are becoming far too big. And particularly if you start batching, I'm doing 3-week batching. That means I have 3 times as much work on any one day. I've got to get the work done, but I've got to still have the results. This is a boar control crate in a passageway where there's no 2 sides. Here's another example where we have gates going down the house so that we can control our board instead of using a crane. What is the impact of doing this training on farm? Here is a farm where we were having average farrowing rates. This is the farrowing rate on this side. My target is 82%, which might not be impressive to most people, but it is what it is. So the farm does okay, and then not so okay. We were having some staffing issues. The farrowing rate was starting to drift. So we went in and we imposed a boar control program, and we are now having a much more consistent and much higher farrowing rate. By using this sort of technology, the main thing is that I can get consistency. And on these large breeding farms, it's consistency that I want. I don't necessarily want 90% farrowing rate, but I must ensure that all my farrowing rates are full. Single serving. I honestly believe this is part of this revolution. Why are we wasting our time multiple mating these sows? Now, I'm out of time, so I'm trying to rush through this. It's been well known that if you wean on a Thursday, the sows that come into heat at the beginning of the week will stand for longer than the sows at the end of the week. And if ovulation occurs at 70% of the way through standing heat, then we can make a guess as to when ovulation will occur. And therefore, if you're going to make 24 hours before ovulation, this then would be the best time to make those sows. So on a normal program, there is no reason why we made more than twice. Just wasting time, you're just wasting semen, we're wasting our board. So on a normal program, what I get guys to do, we meet on a Thursday, so therefore we don't bother to heat check on Saturday and Sunday, because we're not going to make anybody anyway. And we just heat check and make on the morning, heat check and make on Tuesday morning, heat check and make on Wednesday morning, but we only serve ourselves twice. Now that in itself can make a major cost difference to your farms. But I'm going to propose that we only do it once. Just going to breed the sows once. And what's going to happen is we're going to abandon the Monday breeding. This is on a Thursday weaning. I'm going to stop doing breeding on Monday. I'm doing all my Monday serving on Tuesday, just the once, and leaving them alone. Then on Wednesday once, Tuesday and Thursday once. Why? Well, the reason why is that it can work. We've now mated over nearly 3,000 sows. We have a 90% farrowing, total born of 14, which is actually higher than doing it twice. Now there is some variance in this. The double ones also do include the gills and the returns. So to a point, I expect the double ones to be slightly lower here. But the bottom line is I can mate my sows once. And get them pregnant. What's the impact of this? Well, it's dramatic. One of the problems we have with breeding is that you don't consider the AI pack as the future. You consider the AI pack as a means of getting the sows bred, not to worry about meat consumption and then food conversion. We've got to change our attitude with the way that we look at our breeding. So when I do my single serving, if I just look at days to market, which is something that's very easy to measure, there is no impact, because at the end of the day, I have enough room on the farm anyway. But if I go and look at improving my food conversion ratio, so I take my food conversion ratio from 2.7 down to 2.6, that's worth 2.2 million Taiwanese dollars a year. By breeding singly, it means that I can put the best boar. So say for instance, today we are making 3 times, and I'm going to make once. I have one boar that has an FCR of 2.6. I can make him over 3 times as many sows. I only make the sows once. We've got to stop overusing our boars. We've got to select the best genetics we have, and we've got to put them over as many sows. Our major competitor is poultry. We've got to start competing with poultry. Another way would be to look at the carcass composition. Recording in real time. One of the things that we're trying to do on these farms is to stop this massive variation. Farm after farm I go to have around a 40% variance between one week and the next. We can get these farms down to a variance of 5%. We can then make our models which then predict what is going to happen on the farm. We've got the aim of all of this technology then is to try and produce a result which I can then reproduce week in, week out, batch in and batch out. Let's go to 12 weans per farrowing rate. It's essential that we capture this technology. If I go to the farm that I'm currently on, which is 10 weans, I'm producing 9,500 pigs a year. If I start doing 12 weans, and I improve the post-weaning mortality a little bit, I'm now producing nearly 12,000 pigs a year. That's a dramatic improvement in my output, which obviously has a dramatic improvement in my cost. It also allows me to, I can wean 12 pigs and actually kill my small ones. One of the reasons I do that is that we overbreed. One of the problems that the industry has had over the last few years is we've been too worried about pigs per sow per year. Pigs per sow per year is a complete con. It is designed for breeding companies to compete with each other. It has nothing to do with commercial pig farming, and we should stop looking at it. It is not relevant to making a profit. It is only relevant to compare one breeding company with another. Farms are about producing pork, not pigs per sow per year. The sow itself is not relevant to modern pig production. She is cheap. 100 kilograms per batch farrowing. We have a number of farms around the world now where we produce 12 pigs at 8.5 kilos per pig at 27 days. That's 100 kilograms of pork per batch farrowing. This is just an example of one of those farms. My second, third, fourth parent sows are all achieving this goal. You can imagine the impact that has in the nursery when I produce 8.5 kilo pigs at 27 days instead of 6.5 or 7. I've just knocked off 2 weeks to finish. It also makes it a hell of a lot easier to manage these pigs. And I have 12 of them. I don't have 9. We need to achieve all in all out. We need to get consistent batching and filling the farm. Single serving enhances the finishing performance, allows the best boars to go over got to start weaning 12, and we've got to make management of the nursery easier by weaning bigger pigs. The bottom line is, if you take the farm that I started off with and convert it to all these things that we're talking about, it actually ends up saving the guy about $6 million a year, Taiwanese dollars a year, which is a lot of money. We've got to get the cost of production down. There are various ways of being able to achieve this. And one of the simplest ways is make sure the farm is full. Make sure that you don't have empty places. So the bottom line, the take-home message on all of this, plan your farm and then farm your plan. As I say, in the notes, I've produced a lot more detail than this very quick overview of breeding. Very final little slide, because I like doing astronomy. Gentlemen, ladies, we are in a new world. As I say, we're in the middle of a major breeding revolution. The fact that we can wean 12 pigs for batch firing rates, or more, I have no idea. I've got some guys averaging over 13. The fact that I can wean 100 kilos of pig meat in 27 days. The fact that I can breed my sows just once and get on with it. These things are major revolutionary things. We live in a new world. This is Saturn. That there is Earth. That's a view that my grandfather could not have made. I can see that with my own eyes because I was Saturn put there. We're living in a new world. We need to abandon the technologies, not necessarily abandon, we need to change the technologies of our grandfathers. They do not farm the farms that we farm. So we just need to stop using the technologies that they adopted.
Thank you very much for the cost-benefit analysis regarding pig operation. Well, I'm particularly interested on the single milking. So, of course, you are successful in that. Can you possibly advise us on to achieve that? What would be the sow parity and the number of sows at any given time that you will maintain a farm, so that you will be producing Latin cows? Is there a contour on the parity level that you will maintain?
The way that I've done it so far is that the weaned sows only are single mated. So the gilts, the returns, the late sows, they're all double mated as normal. But not double mated, they're only double mated. All the weaned sows are single mated, assuming they will stand. If they don't stand exactly right, then we will double mate them as well the next day. What we've done on these farms is we've now got to a 1.2 mating average. Rather than the 2 point something that we have used. Now, with the question about parity or size, we've been playing this on farms both here in Taiwan at around 200 sows through to farms in the Ukraine at 5,000 sows. And we get the same results for all different types of farms. The absolute numbers have changed a little bit in terms of one farm together. And parent rate but the concept is still applies. Thank you.